All right, all right, all right. It's 8:30, right on time. Good to be back on YouTube. Good to be back on the ripple effect of healing. My name is Jay Chantalanxi, certified emotion code energy practitioner, holistic wellness coach, and tonight is a very personal episode for me, and I'm gonna explain everything because I went through something crazy in the last, 6 or 7 days. I've been MIA for a lot of those days, totally off social media, totally disconnected, disassociated, and it wasn't by choice, right? It was because I experienced something truly scary, and it was very real for me. It was very real for my family, and those that know me. You know, um, it definitely took me by surprise, and um, I'm going to tell you all about it tonight because I hope that me telling you about it will, inform you, and it will help you not have to go through what I had to go through, because I don't want nobody to ever have to go through what I had to go through in the past, you know, um, 5, 6 days. And I'm not 100% yet. I'm at like 90, 95% right now. So it really took the soul out of me. Like basically just I was a different person, and I've never experienced that ever in my life. So before I start, I just want to apologize first. I haven't been on for the last couple weeks. The week initially, my daughter was here, so I got to spend time with her. She was here with me for a week. So, we got to hang out. So I really didn't have to, I really didn't do much, but, spend time with her. I mean, she's been with her mother ever since this whole COVID thing started. So her being and spending some time with us, I wanted to, take that time and do as much as I can with her. So that was week one. And then, the second week, this past week, was when everything happened, right? And um, so now I'm back. Hopefully it won't happen again, and hopefully I will stay on this routine of the Ripple Effective Healing Show every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And thank you for everyone who reached out. So, like I said before I start, I want to personally thank everyone that sent me a message, that sent me an email, that messaged me on TikTok, Facebook, all the different messaging platforms, on all the social media channels. It really, really helped tremendously to know that people out there, are worried and care for you, and sending their love and prayer and support. I mean, I needed everything. So from the bottom of my heart, I want you to know, from me to all of you, thank you so much. And it truly helped myself, my family, my wife. Specifically, we needed every bit of support that we can muster up, because this thing was totally out of left field, right? So so thank you so much. I'm very truly grateful. I couldn't have done it without you. So those of you that reached out, or just thought about me, because maybe you realized that I wasn't coming on live or doing my TikToks, and like that, just that alone also is very, 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 very grateful for that, right? And there's two people specifically, that I want to give a shout out to our angel medium, Mandy Schwei, and our psychic medium, Mary Catherine Summers. Appreciate you both so much for helping my wife clear these, dark energies that infiltrated me, which made me go through a spiral of depression, right? Something of that nature. But I'll get to that more in a second. But I just want to express my deep gratitude for everybody, for everyone who, took the time, like I said, to send me a message, send me an email, send me prayers, send me love and light. It all helps. So thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Um, so, so what actually happened? Like what, what crazy thing, you know, uh, happened to me? And like I said, I'm sharing this because I want to inform you. I don't mean to scare you. I don't want you to be afraid. I want you to be vigilant. I want you to be ready. I want you to, have the tools so that you never have to experience this. I hope it never happens to you. And whoever's on the other side of the screen, I hope to God, I pray to all the angels, I pray to all the deities and goddesses, whatever you believe. I hope you never, ever have to experience what I've been through in the last, 4 to 5 days. So, what had happened was, it was regular, Sunday afternoon or Sunday, and I was feeling okay, nothing too different, from every Sunday morning. I woke up fine, everything was good. And usual Sunday morning, right? My wife and I get up, we get the kids up, we have breakfast together, and then we just spend time with each other, right? Because Sunday is like family day. So um after breakfast, I started feeling different. I started feeling like kind of off, you know, and I felt it in my energy. I felt it in my aura. I felt it, in my body, like something was just off, which is normal, right? Those of you that know me, know that I work with energy. I'm an energy medicine practitioner. So every time we work on clients or every time we do energy healing sessions, there's a high possibility that us practitioners absorb people's energies, right? Anyone can absorb any energy, right? Energy is everywhere. Empaths specifically absorb emotions or energies easily, but anyone can absorb any other energies that are around them, right? Um, those people that are unaware, they might absorb energies unawarely. They don't even know, right? And then their mood changes, or they start having body aches or something like that, right? Dark thoughts or whatever. That could be you absorbing, these energies. So as a practitioner of energy, we are very aware of this, and it comes with it's an understandable, I mean, it's an understanding that us practitioners have to deal with. We took this path, and there's, we accepted that this can happen, right? And sadly enough to say, there isn't one thing out there that can protect you fully 1000% from you absorbing these energies. But what can happen is, if you're aware enough, if you're in tune with your body, mind, and spirit enough, and if you feel off, you can, do something about it, right? You can clear yourself, you can check yourself, you can investigate those emotions, those feelings, those body aches, those dark thoughts, or just feel the energy around you, right? So after breakfast, I started feeling these differences in my body, and thankfully I'm very in tune, with myself, and it's been 10 years in the making for me to have this type of awareness, and also working in this energy field, right? So I'm very keen to the differences that I feel. And when I started to feel these differences, the first thing that I always do is tell my wife to clear me, because she's also a practitioner. Those of you that know, my beautiful wife, she's also a practitioner. So I have the the ease of just, say, hey, honey, can you check me? Do I have any imbalances? Maybe I absorb some things from our clients or whatever. And, when I say that, my wife and I, we have this understanding, okay, I'll check you, we check each other and stuff like that, because it comes with the territory, right? This is a very normal thing that happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen, right? And like I said, we're working with energy, things that you can't see. But if you are aware enough, you can feel it. You can feel that there's something off, right? So, of course, she responds and says, yeah, I'll check you in a bit, after, I take the kids out of the, high chairs and stuff like that. So, I'm washing the dishes and stuff like that. I'm normal, I'm just feeling all these things. And then I started having all these like, very dark thoughts, um, and that was like the first indicator for me, like, why am I having such dark thoughts? I'm a very positive person. If you know me, know me, you know me. And it's easy for me to transmute and kind of be an observer of my thoughts, right? And that's years of meditation, right? That could do that. But these thoughts were different. I mean, it was like very, very dark, like apocalyptic, you know, like dark, right? And I've never experienced anything like that. So I'm just waiting until, my wife was, gonna check me. So, um, after a few minutes, she starts to clear me, right? She starts to tap in and tune in to my subconscious. She finds all these, imbalances and stuff. And then she's like, yeah, you have a lot of, you have some imbalances out that I need to clear. So she clears them all. And normally when she does that, a couple hours go by, I feel good, I feel better. I can feel the energy moving and purging in my body and all that stuff, and everything will be fine normally, right? But for this on this particular day, after she cleared me, my processing symptoms were very, it was like me doing energy healing for the first time. I was like wiped out. I was like, I mean, I told her I needed to go sleep. I guess I was processing heavily, so I was gonna go take a nap, right? And I took a nap, and the nap was like from 11 to like 8 p.m. Like I was out, and that's that's not normal, and then when I woke up, I also felt even more severe symptoms of like, dark thoughts. I was very unmotivated to do anything. And then this feeling of like irritation of the smallest things were just profound to me, And then so I go downstairs. I remember I go downstairs and, I'm trying to eat, dinner. And then like I didn't even feel like I needed to eat. And that was odd to me too. But I knew I needed to eat. So my outerly actions wasn't corresponding with my internal actions, if that makes sense. My internal uh conversation with myself, right? And um my wife was like, man, what's are you okay? Well, what's going on? And I mean, even her voice was irritating to me, and that's never the case. I mean, that's like I was just on a different level of who I was, and it was weird because I was having this internal battle, like with myself. I'm thinking to myself, why am I having these thoughts? Why is she irritating me? Like, why am I not touching and being playful with my kids? And all these things, right? And nothing just seemed to make sense internally, but externally I was just like blah. I was just like not doing anything, and like I said, I didn't even want to eat. So Of course, my wife is asking me all these questions, and I'm just like, I just wasn't in. I mean, I was responding like in a very, you know, depressed way, and I'm never like that, So, um, she definitely was asking me like, how do you feel? What are you going through? And I was just like, I don't know. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to eat. I don't even know why I'm down here and all that stuff. So I forced myself to eat that night, even though I didn't want to eat. And, at this point, she's like overly concerned. She's just thinking, something is up with you. And she even told me like, you don't even look the same. Like something is different about you, right? So I said, okay, clear me some more or something. Maybe you didn't clear me enough, or maybe something else is on me or something, right? And so she tries to clear me again. And then all I want to do after dinner was just go back upstairs and sleep, you know? And I wasn't feeling sick. I wasn't feeling tired. I had no symptoms, like I wasn't coughing or anything like that. I just felt like I didn't want to do nothing. Like it was so bizarre, right? And so I even slept in my daughter's room away from, my wife and, my kids and stuff like that. Just because I wanted to be extra safe, that if something was on me or something was, attached to me, then I don't want them to absorb it. I don't want them to, at least I had that type of awareness to be isolated on my own. And then the second day came around and I woke up and I felt a little bit better. I even did, the the self-care. But and then the afternoon hit and I went straight back into the way I felt, right? Unmotivated, didn't want to have any type of like interaction or connecting with my wife and my kids. And that was like most of the scariest part, because I became very emotionally numb. Like I couldn't feel anything. And it was so bizarre. I was like, I was thinking in my mind, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? And I would just look at my kids and wouldn't feel anything, you know? And even my kids were looking at me like, what's wrong with daddy? And I wasn't playing with them. I wasn't even like trying to hold them or touch them. And, you know, Angela's like trying to clear me some more. And then finally, we found out that, with the help of our team, our Oracle team, that, I attracted or I absorbed or something. I attracted like these dark entities, right? And they were attached to me. And it didn't show itself until, 2 days in, because it was creating all of these imbalances within me. I had curses, I had saboteurs, I had all these offensive energies that I've never had before, like ever, like ever since I started doing energy healing and energy work, I cleared myself of pretty much all of those things. I've never even had it before, but because I, attract these entities, like it then messed up everything internally for me, energetically, right? So, at this point, my wife is freaking out and she doesn't know what the heck is to do. And, it's like her worst nightmare, right? She hates watching those movies of like people being possessed and, all that stuff. And it really felt like that, because it wasn't me. Like it was me inside, but externally, it wasn't me. Like I didn't want to do anything. Like I was sleeping in my daughter's room with the curtains, closed, dark. I didn't take a shower for like 3 days. I was bedridden. I didn't even want to eat. I only ate once a day. And it was just horrible. And like I said, I've never felt this way ever. Like I'm very adamant about my health, my mental health, my physical health. emotional health, spiritual health. But this just, it was like, it hit me like a runaway train because I didn't know what it was. And every time, my wife would try to talk to me, like I just didn't feel like talking. Everything was irritating me. I was getting upset and frustrated with the littlest things, you know, sitting at the dinner table, having my only meal because I forced myself to eat was irritating me. I just didn't want to be there, and I just wanted to go back upstairs and sleep in my, sleep in the room. And it went on for like 3 days, right? And so, of course, you know, our team got involved, and, she was, at this point, Angela was reaching out to anyone that could help us. And surely enough, we found out, there was all these dark entities that were attached to me, and, she had to release them. I mean, we were calling, archangels and God and the light and everything you can imagine, because um, even Angela couldn't act like she was afraid of me, because this is what it feeds off of, right? These dark energies feed off of fear, low vibrations. So if people around you are fearful or scared, then it can easily get attracted to you. So um it definitely turned me into someone that I never wanted to be. And I've never been this way, even at my lowest points, right? So it was definitely out of character. It was definitely not me. It was something else controlling me, which I couldn't control for 3 days. And my thought process, the way I was feeling, what I was thinking, like it was very, very dark. Like I can understand how depressed people feel. I mean, that's what it felt like. The closest thing that I can explain, like that's what it felt like. And I've never been depressed in my life. I have a best friend who has battled depression for a long time, so I kind of know, right, and can kind of empathize. But like actually feeling it, never. I've never felt that much despair, right? And it was like a mix of despair and anger and irritation and just no will to do anything. Like I didn't want to do anything, not even take care of myself, not even bathe, not even like, hug my kids or, kiss my wife or nothing, none of that. I didn't want to do any of that, right? And I was constantly having this internal battle, and it was fucked up. I mean, it was, it was very scary, like I said. But thankfully, um, you know, my wife and uh, our angel medium, psychic medium, they helped clear those entities. And after everything was cleared, I started feeling a lot better. I started coming back to normal, right? I even had body aches. Like it felt like someone just was wringing my body because everything ached. Like my joints, my back, my head, like, and I'm like, man, am I getting sick? But I wasn't feeling anything. And then when I started feeling better, I literally felt like I was breaking out of my own skin. I started to stretch out a little bit. And, of course, with all the malnutrition, because I was only eating once a day, I wasn't drinking. Of course, that, made the symptoms a lot worse. But I mean, it was horrible. It was horrible. So when I started to become normal, I then started to do a lot of, reflection, right? A lot of meditation. um, and we found out that this is definitely a strategic spiritual attack, you know. And the crazy part, I don't even want to say it's crazy, because nothing happens by coincidence. I was already warned about this months prior. Okay. This is where my carelessness and just humanistic traits came in, right? I was already warned about this from multiple people. Mary Catherine, um, our other mediums that we talk to, other practitioners who do energy work on us, they would always tell me, your light is very bright. You need to continue to do self-care and more of it, because people who have bright lights not only attract other light, it can also attract the darkness, right? There has to be a balance, the yin and the yang, and that's a law of energy, right? So, of course, I'm thinking, it's cool. I got all these things I wear and protect and all that stuff. I really don't know. I can't tell you how I actually attracted it. And I was already thinking like maybe I didn't disconnect from a client, or I became vulnerable, or I was like thinking about something which like put me on this trajectory of like low vibrations or whatever. Like I said, I can't really tell you, right? All I can tell you was the onset of it. I was aware that something was wrong. That shit hit me like a runaway train. I was out of commission for 3 to 4 days. And then once my wife and, our team cleared it for me, everything started getting back to normal, right? I started thinking normally. I was still having, somewhat, negative and dark thoughts, but it was like I was very aware of it, right? It wasn't really taking over. When I was in the thick of it, every thought I had was like horrible, like, and my dreams in those 3 days, oh my gosh, it was vivid. It was like nightmares, it was, even when I was sleeping during the day, I would wake up, terrified because I was having daymares as I was sleeping throughout the day, and those dreams were just, uh, it's fucked up, and this is what these dark entities can do to you, right? They can make you and influence you to become this way. They fight against your willpower. They fight to dim your light. They fight to, put you in a position where you are not who you are, right? And the shit is real. You know what I mean? Like, and I would tell you firsthand, like I come from a lineage of, healers and mystics. My father was one. I never really believed him in this, spirituality and airy fairy stuff, right? Even though I saw it with my own eyes when I was a kid. But my dad he probably knew this shit was gonna happen to me, and he's probably been preparing me for this moment. He's been trying to help protect me since I was a kid, right? That's why he taught me to meditate when I was 5. He taught me all these different incantations and stuff like that. He made a necklace that I should be wearing, right here. And it's not even a Buddha necklace. It's something he made specifically for protection. And if you look at it very close, it has like a person like with their eyes closed like this, right? And he gave it to me when I was 16. And I normally wear it when I work on clients when I feel like they have offensive energies, like, entities or anything like that. But like I said, maybe I worked on someone, the week prior, and I can honestly say I don't wear it every single time. But best believe after that whole fucking incident, I'm never taking this shit off. I am like, I'm not taking any fucking chances. I'm not like, I mean, my protection level of myself and my family has like jumped 1,000%. I'm taking this protect your own energy to the next level, right? And that's what I want to impart on you today on this episode. I want everyone to really take into consideration of these things that we can't see. I don't care what you believe. You can look at me and tell me I'm crazy. This ain't real. Good. If you never experience it, great. I hope you never experience it. But if those of you that believe me or have experienced anything like this, please do everything in your power. Call your spirit team. Talk to people who have gone through it or anything like that, you know, because when I was talking to my wife and some other friends of mine, and they told me, if you didn't have enough mental power or you know um, enough light in you, then what if you never came out of it? And that's real. Some people will fall down this spiral of darkness, and it could take years for them to get out of it, right? And they might not even know that it was something that caused them to do this. You know what I'm saying? And all that movie shit that we watch of people, all of a sudden changing that shit. I mean, I've seen that since I was a kid, but it's like we're so naive to believe it until something like this happens, right? I mean, I believe in spirits and stuff like that, right? And all that thing, but like I had this understanding that I was always protected, but this just proves it wrong. This is like it was a slap in my face to teach me a hard lesson, to tell me this is real and you constantly have to protect yourself. Every time you wake up, right? There's things out there that want to, like I said, dim your light, that want to affect you in a negative way. And we have to stay vigilant. We have to stay ready. We have to be aware. And the best thing that I could, tell you guys is, to build that awareness is the most important, because like I mentioned earlier, when I felt that there was something wrong, I immediately told my wife, like, something's wrong with me. I don't feel normal. And even when, I woke up that night, I also felt like there was something still not right with me, right? If I hadn't told her that, if I wasn't aware enough and I just acted like that, like, I don't know how long it could have I could have been feeling like that for, right? And I don't know if that would have affected my kids, right? Because they were seeing me. And of course, my wife, like, I mean, I'm not the only one in the house. So, everyone and everything else can be affected. So, luckily we have a spare room, and I was like isolating myself, but even that was like, scary in itself. I remember like the third day, I think, my wife comes into my room, into the room, and it's dark and it's like afternoon, you know, and she was like, we need to expose you to some light, like, let's open up the blinds. And when she opened up the blinds, I felt like a vampire. Like, I was like, ah! Like I was about to melt. And like I said, like, I knew inside of me, I knew like something was up, but I couldn't verbally express it. I couldn't physically express it. I was just like, not me, and we went through that ordeal. And like I said, like I stopped doing everything. I stopped doing the self-care challenge on TikTok. Like, people were I had like so many messages. I had like 50, 60 messages on TikTok, like, of people wondering like where I am. Like, people worried, like, hey, I haven't seen you at 5:30 a.m. We're supposed to do 28 days. I hope you're okay, and all this stuff, right? I had so many messages, so many emails, so many DMs, and people were just, worried. And that's totally out of character. Like, I never do that, right? So for me to not respond in that way meant something really, definitely happened. And that's what happened. So it wasn't intentional that I didn't respond. I was just going through all this shit, And like I said, I never want anyone to go through that. Never, ever, 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 ever. All right. So protect your energy at all cost, and then some. All right. I mean, to do whatever you need to do to protect yourself, right? Whatever belief or faith or whatever you believe in, call them to protect you. Call your spirit guides, call God, call Jesus, call Krishna, whatever it is, wear amulets, whatever you think is going to protect you. Please, 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 please do it. Because, you know, like I mentioned earlier, if you don't have enough willpower, if you don't have enough, light, or if you're in a dark place, you can be in that dark place for a long time, right? And I'm just grateful that I had my wife and my team and all you guys, to help us get through it. Like I said, I don't know how long more it would have lasted if I didn't have all that, right? But a good thing was, our psychic medium, Mary Catherine, she already knew that I was gonna come out of it, so that was like kind of reassuring for my wife. But at the same time, my wife was freaking the fuck out. Like she was, she was like scared to death, and she basically told me, when I was in the thick of it, she was like, every time I look at you, it looked like you were dead inside. I couldn't see the light in your eyes. And she loves me for my kind eyes, but she's like, every time I looked at you, I didn't see that. I saw something totally different. And it scared the shit out of me. It's my wife telling me that, right? I mean, come on, man. You know what I mean? And then even my daughter, was asking her mom and my wife, like, how come daddy's so sad? Like she was asking my wife that, and that was the scariest part. Like I never want my kids and wife to go through something like that, because I don't feel that way, right? I love my family to death, like I would do anything for them. But for me to not have emotions and not feel anything, to be completely numb, to have, no rhyme or reason of any type of thought at all, but instead have thoughts of like irritation, like I was irritated and upset that my kids were trying to like touch me and play with me. Like what the fuck? I mean, nah, man. So please, everyone, take this as a warning. Take it as, a PSA, a huge blaring PSA to truly protect yourselves. If you feel anything, if anything is off, investigate it. Don't just disregard it. Don't just, oh, I'll feel better later. Because if you don't take care of it, and what if you did absorb something like this, it could be 2 months down the line and you're a different person, you don't want to do shit like that's, and that's not who you are, right? And I know most of us know people like this, right? I'm not saying that they have something attached to them, but they might. I mean, if you talk to them and stuff like that, there probably is a point in their life where they were feeling down or they were feeling depressed. And once you're in low vibrations, you're open, you're vulnerable, right? You're vulnerable to these attacks. You're vulnerable to dark entities, trying to infiltrate you, right? Because they need a host. They need something to feed off of. And if you're vibrating at a low frequency and, depressed or despair or grief even, right? I mean, you're just basically a beacon of other negative energies or entities, wanting to attach to you. And you don't want anything attached to you, right? Even if it's a good thing, you don't want it attached to you. You want to be fully free in your own aura, in your own being, right? Because that's basically the only thing that you can handle, your own energy. You don't want any other energy affecting you, right? Of course, not like bad energy and shit like that, right? So, yeah. So, I went over 30 minutes, I know, but I just felt, I even made a long post on Facebook and shared this whole experience. I was pretty reluctant and pretty hesitant to share about it, but I woke up this morning after, breakfast, and I just felt the need, to get it out there and to share it. I normally don't do stuff like that, right? And like I said, I'm not trying to scare nobody. I'm not trying to, put any like these negative ideas in it. I'm just saying this from the bottom of my heart that I don't want anyone to go through it. I've been through it, and that shit fucking sucks, you know? And I hope and pray I never go through it ever again. And I will never take any, you know, um, shortcuts or anything, when it comes to protecting myself. It is up there with everything else that's dear and precious to me, right? Uh, because I don't know how it could have been if it was a prolonged thing, right? If I was going through this for a long period of time, what else could have happened? And I don't even want to think about that shit, because the thoughts in my mind that was running through my head was already fucked up. Like, I don't even want to talk about the shit that was going through my head. Like, just think of the worst of the worst of the worst that you can think of, like that, like times 10. Like, it was dark in there. Like, it was utterly, like, just not cool, right? So, like I said, take this as a warning, take it as information for you to use. Please protect yourselves at all cost, and then some, right? If you do feel anything, please investigate it, reach out to someone, and just share, right? Just share what you're going through, share what you're feeling. Don't just think that it's something that you can just let go or whatever, right? Because that's what it starts. It just starts off as this, like, kind of awkward feeling, but then as time progresses, right, the more you become vulnerable, the more power it has over you. And it was fighting my willpower. It was I had no will to do anything. Nothing. Not even to feel. Like, I was so empty inside, so empty. So when you're at that point, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, luckily it didn't get worse than that. Luckily, I was still internally aware. I just didn't know how to, act, because my body and my mind and my extremities and all that wouldn't let me. I felt like I was trapped in my own body. It's crazy. Anyways, so that's what happened. Like I said, thank you so much for all your support. It means the world to me. You have no idea. And like I said, shout out to Mandy, Shwai, Mary Catherine, our mediums, the Healing Tribe, the Emotion Ally, Facebook family. Of course, my dear wife. I don't even know if I would have came out of this if I didn't have her, man. it's and it's just hard because I knew after I came out of it, like, this was so scary for her too, and she had to, like, muster up the courage and the strength and positivity to show that she was strong, even in front of our kids. And that's hard to do, to, like, put up that much energy. So I'm so grateful. You have no idea. And I'm just happy that I got out of it. It's a hard lesson learned. I never want to go through that shit ever again. I hope and pray that I don't. Like I said, I'm gonna protect myself at all cost. All cost at all times. Like, my necklaces is never gonna come out of me. You know what I mean? Like, the first thing I wake up now is I put my protection protocols on me. Instead of, like, doing the normal stuff. And yeah, you just never know. You just never know. And these things are out there. They're out there to infiltrate us, right? To influence us, to impact us in a very negative way. So we always have to be aware. So that's that. I'm gonna go to the comments. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me live. I appreciate it. Daniel, Doris, Martha, Wendy, good to see you. Jessica, cousin, how are you? Carolyn, thank you. Grand Rising to you. Sylvia, how are you, beloved? Annika, good to see you. Lexi, I see you. So, um, so back to regular scheduled programming, right? So, I will be here every Monday from now on, unless something comes up, with the scheduling or, my daughter's in town or whatever. So I will let you guys know, but, hopefully this will never ever happen again, right? And I will continue. Those of you that are doing the 28-day self-care challenge with me on TikTok, I'm actually going to continue that all the way to the end of March. So you're welcome to join me there, 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We go through 5 different activities for self-care. And I need it a lot. I need more self-care. After this 7 days, like, I'm ramping up my self-care for myself, because, it took a lot out of me. It took a lot out of me energetically, like physically, mentally. Like, I was drained, like I just started feeling better. I just started, my body is getting back to normal. I've been stretching out and doing a lot of qigong and, like energy manipulation, right? Clearing myself as well. Like my wife is constantly doing that for me as well, and I'm slowly getting my bearings back, right? So, hopefully in the next couple of days, I'll be ripely at 100%. And I can't wait because I'm that type of person that hates to be unproductive, that hates to be sick, that hates to be not doing something that's, towards my goal or towards helping my clients or my family, right? I just hate being in that position, right? Because personally, to me, it's like it's a total, waste of time and energy. I could be using that time and energy to, loving more or supporting or, helping or serving, right? And if I'm like that, I mean, I can't do shit. But I mean, that's why I allocate time for self-care, so I don't feel that way, so I don't go through those things. But like I mentioned, this shit came out from fucking left field, like it was like what is going on, right? And it was definitely a surprise for me and my whole family, right? But luckily, my wife was diligent enough and, proactive enough to help me get out of it. And it wasn't, such like a long time, right? Because I don't know what happened. I don't know what would have happened if it was longer than that, So thank you so much, guys. I appreciate all the positive vibes, all the prayers, all the good energy. It's very, very important, right? That's why, I always give blessings. I always give prayers. I take time to do that myself because it definitely helps. And without it, I don't know. Maybe I would be going through it still, right? So all of that good energy is important, and I'm so grateful and thankful from the bottom of my heart. All right. So much love to everybody. Protect your energy at all costs. Please, please, please do everything in your power to protect yourself, to protect your family, from things that we cannot see, right? And stay vigilant in doing that. Okay. So I will see you guys next week at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Or if you're joining me for the self-care challenge on TikTok, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 5:30. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait. And, I just can't wait to get back at it. It's been a tiring, long, 7 days in a rough week. So I love you all. Blessings to everybody. Love and light. I will see you next week. All right. Peace.